Hi, my name's A.L. Kennedy. I'm a writer. That means that apart from responding to social and political issues practically, I write. This is a piece that's addressed to people the same colour as me who may be having perhaps trouble understanding why there is a Black Lives Matter movement and perhaps trouble understanding why it is now a mass movement, a necessary movement, and a movement which must succeed. This is called Look at Me How. Look at me how I am white, how my skin is the white of human bone, as white as the sun on Shark Island, as white as the paper beneath lists. It's just my skin, what I was born with. I never knew it was a fearful thing. Look at me how I am Celt white, Scot white, how the shape of my flag haunts Jamaica because of chains, rises over the south wherever it yearns for screaming, how the fire cross that gathered us summons the noose, the clan stumbles into blood nights, one letter metastasizing. Look at the colour of people who were cleared and then clearing, underfoot and then treading down. The pure vor sang over stolen earth as an empire's cry for more, the turn of the sun always seeing our sin. We were the victimizing victims. Look how the blood washed from the cotton and tobacco, but never the debt. It's just my skin, what I was born with. I never knew it was a nightmare thing. Look at me how I walk, soft and uplifted, walk past the Aryan Jesus pictures and the statues to trafficker thugs, walk past the Benin bronzes, past the catalogue of looted joys, turn the guineas in my pocket, and they let out the sound of manacles and screaming. They say the name of a brutalized country, the name that measures value in the heart of whiteness. It's just my skin, what I was born with. I never knew it blessed obscene inheritance. Look at me how I travel, unopposed. I can fly clean over the lash of the black line. I can drive from Charleston to Telequa and never feel the trail of tears, never notice the abysses. I do not die in desperate boats. I do not die on concrete floors. I do not die hung by my thumbs. I do not die in cages. I do not drown myself or swallow poison as the only freedoms left. I have never been stopped and searched just for driving, just for walking, just for standing, just for looking. No one has ever hunted me for sport. It's just my skin, what I was born with. I never knew it was a passport. Look at me how I am complete. I am not liable to amputation as punishment, as proof of domination, as entertainment. I will not be crippled or violated to make amends for my natural form. I have not seen my mother's head held as a trophy. I have not seen my children's body parts cut and piled like fruit in baskets. I do not know my forebears' flesh was given out as souvenirs, as favours. No photographs exist of my beloved being tortured, hanging, burning, with a festive crowd beneath. No one has questioned my soul's complexity or extent. It's just my skin, what I was born with. I never knew it was my safety. Look at me how I sing and caper, love and worship, pray to power, speak words of my heart and life, and do so with no hobble chains, no muzzle, no curse, no resistance, no promise of monsters that walk proud in daylight, or monsters that wake up in shadows and take me with no warning. It's just my skin, what I was born with. I never knew it made my joys less cautious. Look at me how my hands have never held a bullwhip, a cowskin, a brand, a knife, a gun, a leash for dogs that hunt freedom. My hands have never dragged sons from their mothers, never pointed a false accusation in hopes of fatalities, have never counted money, slave sweat money, slave blood money, slave trade money. I have never pulled a rope and lifted up a child of God, never made that flag of blasphemy and a lost country beneath. It's just my skin, what I was born with. I never knew it had a history. But look at me, how my mind is made for knowing and has no excuse. And knowing is change, and change is reality's true nature, and reality is unsurvivable without truth, unsustainable without love. Look at me, how I am white like a clan hood. I take my whiteness back from that. Look at me, how I am white, like the angry men with spittle lips, the ones who despise the future. I take my whiteness back from that. Look at me, how I am white, like an existential threat, like a knee on a neck. I take my whiteness back from that. Look at me, how I am white, like the faces that watch and do nothing while entitlement chokes out a life. I take my whiteness back from that. Look at me, how I am white like the Memsahibs and Karens, the torturers and freaks, and the broken-souled monsters. I take my whiteness back from that. Look at me, how I am white like the gatekeepers of peace and bounty. I take my whiteness back from that. Open the gates. And look at me, how I am writing, and I am not graceful, I am not remarkable, I am not offering magnificent sacrifice, I am simply consenting to know facts. I am fulfilling a minimum human requirement, which is that I notice reality, history, human pain. Only the lost and the broken refuse to save others from pain. Only the unloved and empty yearn for damages they can incur, seek justification. I am not good. I am only normal. I cannot mend everything, not by myself, but I can mend something. I am supposed to. That is a human obligation. That is the working of necessary love. And why look at me and my whiteness? The pain to be ended is elsewhere. There is help to be given elsewhere. There is work to be done. There are actions to perform expressly as if we live in the world where no skin is the colour of anything other than love. So, thanks for listening. If you've listened this far, this will be produced as a pamphlet by The Common Breath. You can find them on Twitter at The Common Breath, or Google that. Stay safe out there.